The vanishing children, the stars above Colony 7, were peaceful, quiet, and cold. It was a small human colony far from Earth, filled with farmers, builders, and families. People worked hard during the day and slept without fear at night. There were no wars here, no crime, just peace. But everything changed the night 5 children disappeared. It started with Mia, a 10-year-old girl with black curly hair and bright green eyes. She loved to feed the animals every morning. But one day, she was gone. Her father searched the barn. Her mother screamed her name into the empty fields. There was no sign of Mia. No struggle, no footprints. Just her stuffed animal lying in the grass, cold from the morning dew. At first, the colony thought maybe she wandered off. But then, that same night, another child vanished. And then another. In 3 days, 5 children were gone. Security drones flew across the sky, scanning every corner. The local police looked through forests, rivers, even underground caves. Nothing. When they checked the last house, they found something strange, a blue mark on the window. A small burn, like something hot, had touched it. A nearby camera caught a flash. 1 second the sky was dark. The next, there was a bright blue light and the child's bed was empty. Panic spread. Parents refused to let their kids go outside. Schools shut down. Colony 7 sent a message to Earth. Children disappearing. No explanation. Need help. But Earth stayed silent. Then came the whispers. Old miners said they saw something flying above the hills. A shape with no sound. A shadow in the sky that moved too fast to follow. Some thought it was just fear. Others believed it was something much worse, and they were right. 3 more colonies reported the same thing. More children gone, more blue lights, more silence from Earth then. Deep in the underground command center of Earth's secret defense force, a red light began to blink. A file opened. Inside it were 4 words. They're doing it again. Commander Voss stood alone in the dark room, reading the report. His face was calm, but his jaw was tight. He had seen this before, 20 years ago, during a quiet mission in Sector 13. Back then, nobody believed him. He tried to tell the generals that something was stealing human children. They laughed at him, called him crazy. They erased the files, but Voss remembered. He pressed a button. The light turned green. A voice said, "Ready for activation." "Bring in Dr. Ilya and Cato," Voss ordered, "and prep the ship. We leave in 6 hours." Dr. Ilya, a xenopsychologist who had studied alien behavior for years, joined him with a worried look. "Is it them?" she asked. Voss nodded. Same energy signature. Same silence from Earth. But this time, we are not sitting back. Cato, a silent man with metal arms and glowing eyes, loaded gear into the ship. He never said much, but when he did, people listened. As the ship rose from the hidden hangar, Voss looked out at Earth one last time. "They think we'll just wait," he said, "but this time we take the fight to them." Meanwhile, far across the galaxy, a quiet alien ship floated above Colony 14 inside. A tall creature stood over a sleeping child. Its skin was pale silver. Its eyes were black, with no light inside. Its long fingers hovered just inches from the child's forehead. The ship made no sound. The air was heavy and cold. The creature tilted its head, stronger than the others. It said in a strange language. It reached out and then froze. A sound echoed through space. A pulse, a warning. Someone was coming. Back on the human ship, Dr. Ilya gasped. The monitors lit up with strange symbols. This energy, it's not just alien, it's ancient. Commander Voss leaned forward. What do you mean? She turned. Slowly, I mean. They're not just taking children, they're testing them. And deep in the shadows of space, something even darker listened. Asterisk, the mission begins, the human ship. Shadowlance moved fast through the blackness of space. Its engines made no sound. It was built for missions that were never meant to exist. Missions like this one. Commander Voss stood at the front window, staring at the stars ahead. His face was hard like stone. In his hand was a small group of children smiling in front of a school. One of them was Mia Dot. Behind him, Dr. Ilya was studying strange energy waves on her screen. The signal we tracked, she said softly. It matches the same pattern from the Orion incident 20 years ago. Cato, the quiet cyber expert, nodded. They are using worm tunnels to move fast. That is why nobody sees them come or go. Voss turned. So where does the tunnel end? Ilya zoomed in. A red circle appeared on the map, an unmarked moon near the edge of Sector 9. No name, no station, no traffic, just silence. Then that's where we go, Voss said. The ship landed. On the moon, in complete darkness. No stars above, just thick black clouds and dust. The team moved out, wearing suits and carrying silent rifles. Every step crunched like bones underfoot. Then they saw it. A hidden door, half buried in the rock. Cato ran his hand over the metal. Not human, Voss gave the order. Open it. The door hissed, revealing a long hallway with dim lights. Inside was not a base but a lab, cold, silent, endless. They walked slowly, their footsteps echoing. Strange machines lined the walls, filled with glowing tubes. Some tubes were broken, some were empty. One still had a child inside. Mia, Ilya gasped. She's alive, but in sleep mode. Artificial sleep, deep scan says. No damage, just brainwave manipulation. Cato pointed to a console. They are studying emotions, fear, pain, hope. Suddenly, lights above flashed red. Something had detected them. Voss ran to the tube. Wake her up. We're getting her out. The machine hissed. Mia's eyes slowly opened. She looked around in confusion, then whispered, "Are you real?" Voss knelt down. "Yes, you are safe now." The ground shook. An alien voice echoed through the walls. Unauthorized contact. Humans detected. Cleansed the lab. Cato smashed the control panel. We need to leave. Now. They grabbed Mia and ran through the halls as sirens screamed. Doors slammed behind them. Gas filled the air. Robots with long blades chased from the shadows. But Shadow, Lance was fast. The ship lifted off just seconds before. The entire moon shook hand. Exploded. From orbit, the humans watched the fire rise. Mia sat quietly in the corner, holding her stuffed animal. Then she said something strange. They weren't just watching us. They were afraid of us. Ilya looked at her closely. What do you mean? Mia stared into space. Because I saw it, in the dream. I wasn't alone. The others were there. We were talking, but with no words. Voss frowned. Telepathy. Mia nodded. They were trying to stop us from connecting, but they were too late. Ilya whispered, "Oh my God." Voss stood still. "Sir," Cato said, "what do we do now?" Voss looked back at the burning moon. "We find the rest. And if they're doing this to our children, then it's not a rescue mission anymore. It's war." The alien commander breaks far from Earth, beyond the edge of known space. A massive alien ship drifted silently in a red nebula. Inside the controlled chamber stood Commander Zeltar, leader of the advanced species known as the Velari Dominion. His skin shimmered like liquid metal, and his eyes were pure black cold, empty and proud. But now they twitched. Alarms blared. Across the room, a lower officer, small and shaking, stepped forward. "Commander, the humans have attacked Lab Site Theta. They have taken one of the subjects." Zeltar did not move. The officer swallowed hard. "We believe it was the girl, the one we called Subject 14. Silence. Then Zeltar slammed his fist into the console. Screens cracked. Sparks flew. "That girl was the key," he roared. "You were supposed to protect the moon. She was not ready to be released. Commander, the other labs are still hidden." He turned slowly. "No, they are not. You do not understand humans. Once they smell blood, they do not stop." The other officers looked at each other nervously. Velari leaders were never this emotional. But Zeltar, he was different now. He had seen something 20 years ago, during the first silent harvest. He had studied the first group of human children. Back then, they were weak. But one child, just one, had looked straight into his mind. No translator, no machine, just eyes. And that one child had whispered, "You will fear us soon." Zeltar never forgot that now. It was happening again. Back aboard the Shadow Lance, Commander Voss watched Mia through a secure glass window. She sat quietly, drawing symbols on the table with her finger. Strange, glowing shapes, ones no human child should know. Asterisk, Dr. Ilya monitored her brain scans. Her brain activity is impossible. Higher than any human I have studied. It's like she's connected to something. Mia looked up suddenly. "You should hurry," Ilya blinked. "Why?" Mia whispered. "Because they are watching, and they're afraid of what's coming." Kato entered the room. "We intercepted a transmission from the Velari ship. Commander Zeltar has activated Protocol Blackout. He's trying to wipe every lab before we reach them." Voss stood. "So he's scared?" "No," Kato said. "He's losing control." Meanwhile, on the Velari ship, Zeltar stood before a secret chamber. The core room. Inside were 10 glowing capsules each, one holding a different child. Their minds were linked by energy cables. Their eyes moved in sleep, as if they were dreaming together. "These are the new ones," his science officer said. "They show signs of merging. Just like the girl." Zeltar stared. "If we lose them," the officer continued, "we lose everything, our research, our power. The reason we started this harvest." Zeltar did not speak. He knew it already. Because this was never about studying humans. This was about survival. The Velari had no future. Their evolution had stopped long ago. No new thoughts, no new dreams. They had found Earth by accident and discovered something that terrified them. Human imagination. Human children dreamed things that Velari minds could never create. They built worlds in their heads. They created emotions, chaos, hope, and pain all from nothing. And somehow, this dream power was growing stronger. Zeltar had hoped to control it, but now it was too late. Suddenly, a voice echoed in his mind. It was not his crew. It was not a machine. It was Mia. "You hurt us," she said. "Now we are awake." Zeltar's hands began to shake. "How are you speaking to me?" "You took our minds," Mia said. "But now our minds have joined. The capsule lights behind him began to glow brighter. The children inside moved together, breathing in perfect rhythm. His ship's systems began to flicker. Data scrambled. Lights blinked. One word appeared. On every screen, return them. XELTAR screamed. Shut it down, but it was too late. The children were no longer captives. They were becoming something else. Asterisk, Retaliation Earth was no longer silent. A message had been sent to every major human colony, to every station, and every secret listening post. They are taking our children again. People across the stars paused. Miners, soldiers, farmers, scientists. Every person who had lost a child remembered. Every whisper of the past, every unexplained blue light, every unmarked grave. Now it all made sense. This was not new. It had been happening for decades, in the shadows, and now humanity had proof. The Shadow Lance, carrying Mia and 2 more rescued children, returned to Earth orbit. Commander Voss stood before the Human Council with cold eyes. "We know where they are," he said. "We know what they are doing. This is not an attack." He leaned forward. "This is revenge." The council hesitated. Some feared the Valari. Others feared what the children had become. But the public did not wait. Protesters filled the streets. Mothers held up pictures. Fathers shouted on the news, "Bring our children home." Within days, Earth launched Operation Emberlight. A fleet of stealth ships left orbit. No announcements, no negotiations. They were not there to talk. Back aboard Shadowlance, Dr. Ilya watched Mia play with blocks without touching them. The blocks floated in the air, spinning gently. "She's getting stronger every day," Ilya said quietly. "Her brain is linking with others like her, even across space." Cato walked in. Another lab down. Voss just led a strike on Theta Prime. 15 children rescued. No human losses. Ilya nodded. "The Valari will not survive this." Meanwhile, inside the Valari Dominion, panic spread like fire. Commander Zeltar shouted at his council. "You don't understand. These are not simple humans anymore. They are changing. Their minds are touching each other, faster than we can stop them." A general stood. "Then we will kill them all." Zeltar's eyes narrowed. "And what if that only makes them stronger?" He turned to the window where stars stretched endlessly. "We took their children to control them," he whispered. "But we woke something far worse. Back in deep space, human fleets attacked more Valari labs. Each time they arrived, the story was the same. Shattered test chambers, broken machines. Terrified scientists and children, waiting, but not crying, not afraid. The children were calm, waiting, and when Voss entered each site, they would look up and speak the same words. "We've been waiting for you." The news spread fast. Aliens. Across the galaxy, even those who once sided with the Valari began to pull away. Trade routes closed. Embassies fell silent. No one wanted to be near a race that stole children. And still, the humans came, faster, sharper, deadlier. The Valari homeworld trembled in one final, desperate move. Zeltar ordered every remaining child to be brought to his main shipper, giant fortress called the Min. It floated inside a gas giant's magnetic ring, invisible to most scans. There, he would try to complete his plan. He would attempt to merge the strongest children into a single mind one he could use to break the human fleet. But as his machines powered up, he heard it again. That voice, soft, cold. "You should not have touched us." Screens turned black. Electricity failed. The ship's lights began to pulse, and the children inside the chambers opened their eyes. All at once, far above the gas giant, the shadow lance arrived. Cato looked out the window. That is no normal ship, Ilya stared. That's the heart of it all. That's where they took them. Voss put on his helmet. Then that's where we end it. The fleet behind them began to move. Dozens of human ships armed with weapons powered by something new, something gifted by the children themselves. Earth unleashed. The human fleet floated above the gas giant like silent ghosts. No signals, no warnings. Just cold metal, sharp systems, and burning purpose. Commander Voss stood at the command deck of the Shadow Lance, staring at the alien fortress below the Minthold. It pulsed like a living heart deep inside the planet's swirling rings, protected by layers of energy shields and rotating defense towers. This is it, he said. Dr. Ilya watched the monitors, her voice calm but tight. Our scanners show 67 children inside, all alive and awake, Cato added, very awake. The children were no longer scared. They were not crying or lost. They had grown together, connected through something unseen, something powerful. They were becoming one. Below, in the deepest level of the Mindhold, Commander Zeltar stood in a tall chamber lit by red and blue lights. He looked up at the glowing capsules around him. Dozens of human children floated in, clear stasis, eyes closed, minds active. He raised his hand to begin the fusion process, something forbidden even among Valari. He hoped to control the combined thoughts, to make the children's minds one, and weaponize it. But before he could speak the final command, the chamber froze. The lights went out, the air turned cold, and then the children opened their eyes. All at once, they floated upward, free of the machines. They spoke together, one voice in many mouths. You thought we were small. You thought we were weak, but we are what comes next. Zeltar fell back, stumbling in fear. No, he cried. You were meant to serve us. The children blinked. You should have left us alone. At that moment, the human fleet struck. Torpedoes ripped through the shields. EMP blasts shut down defense systems. Stealth ships darted between the towers, cutting them down like glass dot. But even with all this firepower, it was not the ships that destroyed the Mindhold. It was the children. From within, a wave of invisible force pushed out like a growing sphere. It passed through walls, wires, steel, and mines. Alien systems exploded. Pilots screamed and fainted. Even the strongest Valari guards dropped their weapons, crying, whispering words they had never learned. On the Shadow Lance, Dr. Ilya gasped. Commander, I am not reading weapons fire. That is mental energy, pure human thought. Cato looked up. They are not just children anymore. Voss watched the alien ship begin to crack from the inside, and then, silenced or no explosion, no fire, just silence. The Mindhold was gone, vaporized. In its place floated dozens of small figures, human children, no ships, no suits, just them, floating in space, eyes glowing, hands calm. The Shadow Lance moved toward them carefully. Mia, Ilya whispered, Can you hear us? Mia's voice came through the comms, but not through technology. It came straight into their minds. We are here. We are free. We are ready to come home. The children floated into the Shadow Lance without any doors opening. Every crew member stood in silence. Some cried, some dropped to their knees. Voss took off his helmet. Welcome home, he said softly. Mia smiled. There are others, We feel them. Ilya stepped forward. Others. Mia nodded. Across the galaxy. Still trapped. Still waiting. But now, they are waking up too. Voss looked out the window at the stars. They'll know we're coming. Mia looked at him. No, she said gently. They already do. The rise of the human children 1 week after the fall of the Mintold. The galaxy was silent. No attacks, no signals, no movement from the Valari. They had vanished, fled into the dark corners of space, hiding from the very children they once stole. The Shadowlands hovered above Earth, carrying its strange new passengers, children who had once been victims. Now something more. Mia stood at the front of the ship beside Commander Voss. Her eyes no longer glowed, her voice was soft. But her presence, her calm, quiet power was undeniable. The Human Council held an emergency meeting. Everyone watched the live broadcast on ships, in homes, on colonies far from Earth. Across thousands of systems, people leaned forward, breathless. Commander. Voss stepped forward first. The Valari kidnapped our children for decades, he said. They studied them, hurt them, used them. He looked back at Mia and the others. But instead of breaking them, they awoke something we do not fully understand, something human, but also more. Then Mia stepped forward. No microphone, no speech notes, just her voice direct, clear and heard across every planet at once. We remember everything, she said. The fear, the pain, the silence. She turned slowly, looking at the screen. But we are not here for revenge. We are here for truth. Every leader in the council froze. Every viewer held their breath. Mia continued, we are still your children. We are still human. But we are different now. One of the council members stood. Are you dangerous? Mia paused, then smiled sadly. We are only dangerous to those who take what does not belong to them. A long silence followed. Then another child spoke, a boy with a soft voice. We are connected. We feel the others. The ones still hidden, still lost. We want to bring them back. Commander Voss nodded. We will help them. But Mia shook her head. No, they will come to us, one by one, and when they are ready, we will all rise. In the skies above Earth, a new ship floated, built from human technology but shaped by something deeper, something born from the minds of the children. It had no engines, no weapons. It moved by thought alone. The first child-born vessel, a message appeared across the stars, not in language, but in feeling, in music, in memory. Aliens from all corners of the galaxy felt it, and they understood one thing. Earth was no longer just a home. It was now a force that protected its own. And as Mia and the others entered their new ship, preparing to leave once more, she turned to Voss one last time. Thank you for saving us, she said. Voss smiled. You saved yourselves. The ship rose, silent and smooth. Children waved from the windows, smiling, laughing, united. They were no longer running, they were leading. And as the stars opened before them, one final message echoed across the universe. You feared what we might become, now you will see.